Okay, so what I need to do now is to make an empty Polygon data set. And so under our catalog, I'll navigate to that same geodatabase here. And I'll right click on this guy and choose New and Feature Class. So again, right click on the geodatabase, go down to the New item, choose Feature Class. This will bring up a new feature class dialog box, and I'll call this Done. The new Polygon feature that I'm going to create is, I'll just name it Done Wood Bound. And here, make sure that Polygon Features is selected as the type of the feature to create. Click the Next button here, and then here it's going to ask you what the spatial reference should be for the new data set you're creating. And in this case, you need to choose the same spatial reference as the features that were created from the GPS data. And in this case, if we take a look down here again, this is geographic coordinates here. So the datum is WGS84 because that's what we set the GPS device to. But basically, we need to make sure that this new polygon that we're creating has the same spatial reference as the data frame that I've got here in the background, which is set by these features that I added to my ArcMap session. So under Geographic Coordinate Systems here, I'll go under World and choose this WGS84 projection file. And this is basically the Geographic Coordinate System WGS84 datum. So this is the latitude, longitude projection file. And so I'll click Next. Here it's asking about an XY tolerance, and so this is asking some questions about how close vertices and other elements in this polygon feature class can be to each other. You can just take the default here, which is checked. So click Next here. This is asking you to select the database storage configuration. In this case here, you can also take the default. So just click Next again. Here it's asking you what attributes you want in this new data set that you're creating, this new Polygon data set. And in this case, we don't need any. We could add some, so we could add a name, so that if we later on wanted to label this polygon with the name Done Woods, we could do that here. But for this lab, we don't need to create any new attributes, and so you can just click Finish down here. And so automatically there's this Done Wood Bound added to my table of contents here, that is this Polygon data set that is under my Done Woods project geodatabase. But right now this thing is empty. If I turn off these other feature classes, sorry, these two data sets here, I can see that there's nothing in my Done Wood Bound feature class right now. So the trick now is to convert this track into a polygon. And the key here again is that this line, there's got to be an intersection here. It's got to, if this is an open line over here, it won't close this polygon. But if there's an intersection here, it'll be able to convert this line into a polygon feature. So first step now is to, I need to add the topology toolbar. So I'm going to right click here on my this area to bring up the topology toolbar down here. And here's my topology toolbar. And right now everything is grayed out because I'm not editing anything yet. And the basic steps are to edit, turn editing on for Done Wood Bound. So right click here, Edit Features, Start Editing, and I'll make sure that I've got I've moved my topology toolbar down to the bottom here. And now I need to edit Done Wood Bound to make a new polygon feature from my line element here. So I'll right click on Done Wood Bound and choose Edit Features, Start Editing. I'll make sure that I've got this selected as my target. And then over here on track, right click here, choose selection, and select all. This will select all the line features in my track data set here. And again, the key is that there's an intersection overlap of the lines, the two ends of this line here. And then down here in the topology toolbar, there's this icon, construct polygons. So this is the tool to convert the line from the track feature class into a polygon in the Dunwood bound feature class. So click on construct polygons here, and then in this construct polygons dialog box, check use existing features in target. Click OK, and notice that I now have a polygon in my Dunwood bound data set. Let me zoom to the extent of that layer there, and I'm going to turn track off. And notice I've got the lines here, but if I turn track on and off, I can see the difference between and what it does to that intersection. So it basically just cleans up that polygon at the site of that intersection. So if I turn track off here, I can see what my polygon looks like. I might also want to fix the polygon here because this is that little jog I did to go into that National Geodetic Survey marker. But basically that's it. I can, in my editor toolbar, I can just choose editor here, save edits, and there's my polygon created from my line feature class. Now that I've got a polygon here, if I want to calculate the area of this polygon, let's right click here quickly and look at the attribute table, and see that the shape area here is actually it's generated from this decimal degrees coordinates, which isn't very useful for us. So for calculating the area of this data set, what you would want to do is use the project tool and project this thing into UTM, and then once you've got a UTM version of this Dunwood bound data set, then there's a tool in Arc Toolbox, under Arc Toolbox here, in Spatial Statistics and Tools, under Utilities, this Calculate Areas tool. And this Calculate Areas tool, you basically just choose the input data set, and then choose the output data set, and that output data set will have areas calculated for the polygons. But the key is that if you run this with the data set that's in geographic coordinates, then you're getting a polygon area in geographic coordinates, which really doesn't make a lot of sense. You really want to have a data set that's in meters or feet, so you can calculate the area in square meters or in square feet. So you'll need to use that project tool in our toolbox as we did in the previous lab. Make a new version of Dunwoods that's in UTM Zone 16, WGS 84, and then run this Calculate Areas tool on that UTM version of the data set, and then it will give you a calculation in square meters for the area of that polygon.